Hey y'all, how's it going? I am Joy, that is Steve, and we are joined once again by John to do the stat lines and all that stuff for our Superb Owl special.
The Superb Hour special. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Thank you for having me, Joy and Steve.
Of
This is going to
course.
be a phenomenal day. I'm
Yeah,
here for it.
Yeah, it's gonna
yeah.
be really, really fun.
Glad you're joining us for this superb season finale.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's actually
Same.
crazy is that it's Steve, myself, and John were the original three to do the predictions, so it made the most sense to
Mhm.
kind of jump in with him as well to do the finale. So,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it,
We've been
yeah,
here 4 years now.
yeah, I can't believe we've already done 4 seasons, and I feel like we finally kind of have some of the kinks worked out a little bit.
Oh, for
So,
Mhm.
sure.
yeah, so we're finally on track.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
speaking of that, per the usual with the formatting, chapters, if you guys aren't aware, we have the standings. And we have two separate standings to go through because this season we're doing something a little bit different and a little bit special. So, after the conference championships, we have John in first place with 185.99. I am in second with 183.101. Also, congrats, John, for not having 100 losses on the season yet.
Yet it might happen
Yet.
on
Yet.
Sunday.
We shall see. That'd be the worst, by the way, if you get all the way to the big game and that's when you finally hit 100 losses.
You know what? It's to be expected, honestly.
And then Steve had a perfect conference championship, so he is now tied with me for 183.101. Papa Agron is 180.104. And then we've got Troll, who is in front of the other two with 153.131. SDS has 152.132. And Buff has 150.134. With Dino getting his Chiefs pick right last week at 14-8.
Yay, Dino.
Yeah.
Freaking bird.
Dino.
This bird. Y'all will figure out
Uh,
why I'm saying this freaking bird here in a little bit. But
yes.
getting to the change up from this year, we have decided to do bonus points for if you have predicted the Super Bowl teams correct at the beginning of the season. And so our breakdown for that is you get 10 points if you get one of the teams right, 25 points for getting both teams right, and 25 for just the score. But if you get the team and the score right, you get an extra 100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before we unveil the bonus points clipboard, do we happen to have the teams that everybody chose for the Super Bowl?
Yes, we do,
Okay.
which is awesome. So, I'm going to start with what I have here. I have Steve's pick, which was the Chiefs over the Eagles, 31-27. Which honestly is for what the game is. I could see that score.
Yeah, I could really see that score, and that's why I'm kind of scared about like the score being a, a point as well.
Yeah. For Joy, Joy has the Niners 38, the Chiefs 36.
Heck yeah. Really weird
So,
score. Really weird score, I know. But to be fair, I'm just happy I got the teams right.
what would you do if it's 38-35? What would you do if that ends up being the score?
I would be livid.
I understand that.
I was
I
one.
have
My logic was smart, but I'm gonna.
yes.
I know I'm gonna be off by one, and it's gonna tick me off.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
For me, it was the Niners 27, Bills 16. Then we have SDS who picked the Bills to beat the Niners 31-28.
Right.
That was the big difference between SDS and I. The score and the flipped winning.
Right. I do
For
remember that.
yeah, for Papa Agron, it was the Jets to beat the Niners 20-17.
In his defense, Aaron Rodgers was a thing at the time.
Yes.
Nobody expected him to be a 75-second man. So
Nobody did. Nobody did at all.
Put him in the microwave and watch him explode.
And then for Troll had the Jags beating the Vikings 31-24. Just picking random teams.
yeah.
Randomly scoring.
Which, you know what though? Honestly, I would have been so happy if his was right.
Same,
Like
honestly.
the only person to go with the Jags to make it.
Yeah. I mean, and they kind of did an Eagles thing too, where they just fell apart and
They
decided,
really did,
I don't
yeah.
want to play football anymore. And lastly, Buff decided to go with the battle of 0-4s, where the Vikings were going to clap some cheeks and beat the Bills 33-30.
Skull. I remember the gif.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that is the one thing from the verses that I remember the most is all the various gifs that I had to use because I had to go download all of those and learn how to edit them in, and it was delightful.
I mean, I think
somebody
that's
gave me
also-
a gritty as well, and it was like, okay.
I think it's also part of why I remember Buff's pick, like literally to a
Word for
T
word.
and word for word. Yeah. So,
All right. Well, so now that we know what everybody chose, that was a recap from the first episode in case you guys missed it from there. Here is the clipboard with the bonuses tallied in. I have first place now with 208,101. Thank you, Chiefs. And then John has 195.99 in second. Steve is at 193.101. Agron is at 190.104. SDS, because of the picks that Buff and Troll made, just kind of throwing things at the wall, took the lead from those two, and it has 162.132. And then Troll and Buff's scores remain the same for now.
yes.
What's going to be crazy is if one of those two's scores ends up being right, and then they leapfrog. That would be hilarious. But
33-30 and 31-24, both possible.
oh, honestly, very, very doable. So
I think all of our scores are pretty possible. I think yours is actually the most out there.
yeah, which is really weird. But like picking the scores isn't something that I'm used to doing. I'm used to just saying, you know, this team's gonna win by hook or by crook. They're gonna get it. But no, actually having to pinpoint, you know, the stats themselves, very, very difficult for me.
I mean, it really was just a Cynthia Freeland type score.
But at least my record's
put
better.
26. They put 26 for a lot of things, and I'm like, what? How 26?
I'm going based on the fact that special teams is going to cost somebody the game. Yeah. And considering Jake Moody has cost the 49ers a couple of games already, I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, missed extra points exist.
That's why the Bucks won the division, because of missed extra points.
That's also so true. That was one of my saddest games of the year, though.
The Saints would have won the NFC South if their kicker would have just made one kick.
Yeah, I mean, you have the game against the Packers. The Seahawks would have made the playoffs possibly too if,
yep.
You know.
So nobody can ever say that special teams does not matter, because special teams is why the Bucks existed this year.
Yes, but I kind of enjoyed the Bucks killing the Eagles, not gonna lie.
Well, yes, I kind of did too, but let's be fair. The Saints would have destroyed the Eagles too.
Probably, yeah.
So it wouldn't have really mattered who the Eagles faced. Matt Patricia was going to ruin them regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is honestly the most regrettable signing in the history of signings. I don't understand what the Eagles was doing, but they did it.
Yeah.
And along those lines, what was our regret? Just in general, of either conference championships or from the season?
So, okay. This is where I think I have to talk about my regret of the year.
Okay.
This isn't my best team, but I went 15-2 with said team,
Okay.
which is crazy that it's not my best team.
That's
by
a
the way.
wild stat.
I didn't trust the thing that I literally invented, which is the NFC West circle.
Oh my god, that's so true.
And if I would have trusted the NFC West circle, I would have gone 17-0 with the Rams.
Your Bears? Oh
Uh-huh.
my god, John.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my regret of the year, is actually having hope in my team against the.
Oh my god. You know what's kind of funny? My regret of the season is honestly similar, and it wasn't going with the Bears over the Falcons.
Oh yeah,
Because choosing the Bears in back-to-back weeks one would have been hilarious. It would have tripped up everybody because no one would have expected it, and it would have given me a good lead over you, which would have swayed how I picked the rest of the season, and I probably wouldn't have had to rely on the Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl to get the first place. So
right.
So Steve,
mean-
what was yours?
I would say my biggest regret there is riding my coattails with the Denver Broncos, expecting Sean Payton and Russell Wilson to be the collateral unit there. But unfortunately, that ended in chaos and possibly sent Russell Wilson off to another team there.
Yeah, honestly, like their relationship kind of fizzled after a little while, which is weird because they were kind of doing well. Like in the middle of the season, they didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
mean,
Then came that 70-point loss to the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but then like the following week, didn't they beat the Chiefs?
I think so. There, yeah.
They were such a back and forth kind of team for me this year, so I can understand that. Like just holding out all the hope.
Well, see, exactly. Hope is the best thing, but also it's like the worst thing.
Right, it could also be the worst.
And I think that's what the main theme of our regrets are. We had hope in something.
Exactly. And that was always my thing with Detroit and like drinking the Kool-Aid is like if you hope, it won't go well.
Yeah.
Which is why I went against them when I shouldn't have, just so they would actually win.
Yeah. Which is completely understandable.
Yeah. So do we have a game of the year, or do you just want to review the conference championships and how insane those were?
So I came with a game of the year, but if we didn't, that's fine.
I'm not really sure if I have a full-on game of the year, except for like maybe the giant blowout or
That was one of those fun ones.
Yeah,
actually.
it really was. I have a disappointment of the year in the Giants not taking the points.
Oh, that became my disappointment of the year when I was looking at stats.
Yeah.
So that is my disappointment of the year as well.
Yeah. There you go.
Freaking insane.
Not learning from Detroit,
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, most teams aren't used to learning from Detroit yet, but they'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can learn from example, like Baltimore is learning to not trust the zebras. I don't know if you watched Beager's Soul Link recently, but he named one of his captures Zebra.
Oh.
Because I love that name. Because he hates the refs. And I'm like, welcome to my world. Because it's always the refs.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, especially this year. I think that's one of the things we really should talk about is that this season the refs have been, a little bit worse than usual. Because, like, I'm used to it personally. But to see it happen to every team,
yeah,
it was actually insane.
I think my thing, for Detroit Detroit's used to it. It sucks that Detroit's used to it. I mean, that I have seen. There's been more, I know, but in 3 straight years, they've had 3 wins taken away.
Yes, and there's been plenty more
Yeah.
in the past as well. But it's honestly, and that's why Detroit versus everybody became a thing. And then San Francisco got on my nerves a little bit when they beat Detroit in the conference because they said Niners versus everybody, and I'm like, actually no, because you've been the NFC favorite the entire season, so you can't actually say that. But I get what they were doing. I respect the troll, but also no.
Yeah. No, well, and some of these games, I mean, like what surprised me the most, and I know that these have national media attention, so we're going to get more stuff from these games,
Mm-hmm.
but the primetime officials were almost the worst culprits.
Yeah, that's what was like. What was his name? Was it Brad Allen that cost Detroit against Dallas? His whole crew has been at the center of a lot of the controversial calls, from
Yeah.
like offsides that weren't,
especially
pass
that
interference that wasn't.
Yeah, especially that game against Dallas there.
Exactly, like the whole Decker reported thing. Like that was just one of the most glaring, obvious things that got everybody mad. But like,
Yeah.
like again, we've been used to that kind of thing, so
I think it got everybody mad because of how it locked San Fran at number 1. Just the fact that they basically knotted up the 1 seeds like that,
yeah,
you knew where they wanted to go.
right. And I think that was kind of the
Not in a
thing
conspirator
because
type way, but
right, because like for a while, the entire postseason was very up in the air. Like I think it wasn't until week 17
Yeah.
into the final week of the season where all the seedings finally got placed
right.
on both conferences. And so to have the decision be made that swiftly, and then that's why I said that one of the episodes was storyline playoffs, because
Yeah.
every single game had a story to it. It just felt so obvious that that's what they were doing.
Well, and yeah, it was very intriguing to me the way that they played week 18.
Yeah.
Week 18 was the big one, I think.
Yeah, it was just a little too convenient and putting a pretty little bow on things a little bit well timed.
Yeah. It was weird, but
Yeah.
it was still a fun postseason and still fun.
Oh
But
yeah,
it
for
is-
sure. I really love the season. It was really fun. Especially having like
Yeah,
the players that we did for the verses was really cool too.
Yeah, oh, that was honestly having Papa and Troll as contenders was so fun.
Yeah, the new
I
additions,
loved that.
it was great. I'm hoping that I can talk Rev into joining us next season.
That'll be interesting too.
Yeah. I think that'd be fun. But all right, I think we've stalled enough, I think.
I think so.
So, if you're ready, we can go ahead and just do the final game.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. All right. So, they have the Chiefs listed as the home team, so I'm going to put them in the home slot.
Yes,
So-
it's even numbers. So, fun fact about the Super Bowl: even numbers AFC is listed as a home team. Odd numbers NFC is.
Good to know. I noticed a conspiracy tweet that I need to share with you about a certain virus that started because the Chiefs were the home team. It's hilarious.
Oh boy.
It is absolutely hilarious. I will pop.
Even though it's been the same way since 1970s.
I know.
But okay.
I know, but I will go ahead and take a screenshot of the tweet that I'm going to send, and I'll post that on the video as well, because it's just really funny, the comparisons between 2020 and 2024. Literally everything is the exact same, so it's really
Fair.
cool.
It is interesting, I will say.
Yeah.
I'll be curious in the tweet, but yes.
All right, so
they would have been listed as a home team regardless.
yep, we have the Chiefs and the 49ers in Vegas. Superb Owl 58.
Yeah.
What say y'all?
John, you can start.
Oh boy, I'm starting this.
You're starting.
Okay.
Guess
Well,
comes first.
So my pick got me called a simp.
Why am I not surprised?
So when I said SDS was I'm picking the Chiefs because I'm the type of guy that even when my boyfriend betrays me, I still have to be quality and cheer for them anyway. I wish I rode Travis Kelce all the way, but because that would have given me the win and made me a better BF. Love you, Travis.
I feel that. Even when things don't go well, you're still the loyal type.
Yep.
Yeah. You're the
Feels.
man.
you are the man,
Yes.
and so am I.
Yep.
All right, so that makes sense for you, Steve.
Okay.
What's your pick?
This one's going to be tough there. I'm going to give it my specialty. I'm going to go with the Chiefs to beat the Niners there.
Okay, so fun fact. I am trusting Brock Purdy because that's who I said was going to win in week 1, and I would be foolish to go against him now. So, John and Steve are taking the Chiefs. I am taking the Niners. What's the reasoning behind the Chiefs pick? We already know John's, but Steve, you don't have a horse in this race. So, what's your reasoning for the Chiefs pick?
The question is, can Brock Purdy handle the pressure? In my opinion, I don't know if he can handle the Chiefs defense there.
That I will agree with that. I think that the Chiefs defense is what's going to be what would win them this game, because that's what's gotten them this far. I will say that I'm concerned with them not playing Kadarius Toney. That really lowers my chances here. But I do think that I'm trusting the offense of San Francisco. You've got McCaffrey, who's powerful. Debo should be healthy enough to go, I would assume. And then you've got Ayuk and Kittle. And Brock Purdy, if he proved anything in that game against Detroit, it's that in the second half, his legs can work.
Yeah.
And I kind of like Detroit's defense more than Kansas City's. I think they're more well-rounded. And he was able to run all over them. So I'm trusting in his legs and his mind. And honestly, for the sake of the league, I think that they need to win just so we don't have Taylor Swift get a ring.
Yeah, we need that, and I will agree. If I didn't have Travis Kelce in the mix of things, I probably would have gone Niners too. But
I understand you have to be loyal. I get it.
I have to be.
And unfortunately, I have a couple of horses in the race on San Francisco's side, similarly to you.
Yes.
So I have to be loyal to my boys as well.
And it's funny because I was like, I said in call before we even started, I was thinking that you were going to go this way. And I was like, I wonder if Dino's going to agree with me or if Dino's going to agree with you. We'll find out.
That is going to be the decision of the year.
Yeah.
Whose love is Dino going to give? Is it going to be to the Travis Kelce's, or is it going to be to the Brock Purdy's, or what? Now, I tried to record his pick earlier today, and Bird refused. He absolutely refused to pick a card. So, understandably so. He's had a very, very good postseason. He's undefeated in the postseason, and he doesn't want to mess that up, so he's taken some time to think about it and asked me to ask him tomorrow after he had a good night's sleep. All right, buddy, it's time for the big game. We have the Chiefs of the AFC and the 49ers of the NFC. Big thinks, I know. Well, you have to take one. What do you think? Ah, that was my finger you just tried to bite. Want to try it again? Okay, well, I guess that works. He's really mad, though. Did you want the Lions and Ravens in, too? Okay, so now it's time for everybody else's picks, which is going to be just delightful. One of them is going to be really fun. So, first things first, we have Troll, who, given his standing, just kind of is having some fun with it. His Super Bowl pick is give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers victory by escaping the cage at WrestleMania 17. I would love to see that. I think Baker could actually handle himself in a cage pretty well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we have Mr. Agron, who took the Chiefs because of Mahomes' magic,
Okay.
which concerns me. Then we have SDS, who took the Chiefs, saying the football gods more often than not love to make me look stupid. So here's one final Hail Mary to try and manipulate their love for that to mine and the American people's benefit. Chiefs win in a close game thanks to another carry job by Mr. Travis Swift. We suffer under Chiefs BS for another year. God help us all.
Hey, I'll have a heyday if it's Travis BS. I will love it.
Honestly, yeah, like I can see him popping off for no reason.
He's done that the entire postseason. He literally is the only reason.
I know. Yeah, it's been Travis Kelce on offense producing, and then that defense somehow keeping them in the game.
Yeah, it's been the formula.
If the Niners can just cover the guy, they got this. But apparently, no other team knows how to do that.
No, because, it's not like they have Sir Drops a lot on their team or anything.
It's not hard.
No, it's
Force them to throw the ball to other people, and you win.
Yeah.
Simple.
Wow. Imagine that. It's almost like they went and had one of their worst records in the division for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Side note, I do hope that they can get some receivers in the offseason.
Same.
They honestly really need it.
They
And
do.
I know that
They need
people like
somebody to replace
SDS.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Well, again, though, last year they didn't have Tyreek Hill and they won the gosh darn Super Bowl. So I don't think he was the winner that they needed. I think that they just, for some reason, lost themselves this year. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah.
I personally like the Chiefs. I know that people like SDS absolutely hate them. I kind of like the Chiefs. They would be my AFC team of choice if Tennessee didn't have Derrick Henry. Who
Yeah.
could
Well,
go to Tennessee.
that could also be the last year of that.
Exactly.
But we don't talk about that yet.
No, we don't.
Because we both don't want that to happen.
No, we don't. Definitely not. So, moving on, we have Buff who sent me story time. So,
Oh boy.
I need vitamin water for this one.
I feel that.
In the heart of the dense jungle, where the rays of the sun struggled to penetrate the thick canopy, there lay a small tribal community ruled by Chief Mahomes. For generations, his people have thrived off the land, living in harmony with nature's rhythms. One fateful day, while hunting deep within the forest, Chief Mahomes stumbled upon a glimmering vein of gold, hidden beneath the roots of an ancient tree. The discovery filled his heart with both awe and trepidation, for he knew the allure of gold could bring both prosperity and peril. Word of the chief's discovery spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of nefarious miners who roamed the wilderness hungry for riches. Determined to protect his people's newfound wealth, Chief Mahomes rallied his warriors, invoking the ancient spirits for guidance and strength. As dusk descended, the miners descended upon the village, their eyes gleaming with greed as they sought to lay claim to the precious gold. A fierce battle ensued beneath the moonlit sky, a clash of swords and the war cries of brave warriors echoing through the night. With unwavering resolve, Chief Mahomes led his tribe into the fray, wielding his ancestral spear with unmatched skill and ferocity. Despite being outnumbered, the tribe fought valiantly, defending their home and their future. In the end, the miners were vanquished, driven back into the bay from whence they came. Though bloodied and bruised, Chief Mahomes stood victorious, his people safe once more. As the first light of dawn illuminated the horizon, he gazed upon the gleaming gold, a symbol of their resilience and unity. And though the lure of wealth remained ever present, Chief Mahomes knew the true treasures lay within the bonds of his tribe and the strength of their spirits. Long story short, Chiefs over Niners.
Hey, that's a great story.
Wait, that's all the picks?
That is. So guess who has an alone game for the Super Bowl?
Oh no!
Guess who's choosing Mr. Freaking Irrelevant over everybody?
Oh no!
I am so happy.
Yeah, don't worry. At least it's not in the regular season.
Oh my god.
Uh,
So along those lines, alone games in the regular season, we do have a final recap to go through,
yes.
which
So,
is one of the reasons John joined us on this one, because he is the stats guy, and he's got everything all laid out.
yeah.
Here we go.
I'll start off by saying, what a year.
Mm-hmm.
Having extra people in here made these stats even more wonderful to do. We're going to start with the overall stats, like how all of us did with certain teams.
Okay.
Do you want good news first or bad news first?
Hit me with the bad. Then we can
Okay.
end it off with the good.
So this year I have it laid out in a nice cliffhanger-esque format because I gotta be that guy. So
Of course.
our third worst recorded teams went to the Ravens and the Bengals. This is third worst.
Whoa.
Okay. Now
with
that
56
kind of
and
makes
63.
sense. I'm sorry, go ahead. I talked over you.
Record of 56 and 63. That's our third worst.
Okay, which, I mean, that makes sense, though, for me, because, like, the Bengals were so back and forth, because Joe Burrow got hurt, and then Browning came out of nowhere, nobody thought he could do anything, and all of a sudden he was winning. So, yeah, they were kind of hard to get a feel for.
Now, the Ravens shock me a little bit, but...
A little bit, but I think I know why the Ravens were
Yeah.
so bad, and we're just going to leave that at that.
Yeah.
Because there's one person who heavily swayed the Ravens.
Yeah. So, our second worst team as a group, to no surprise at all, it's the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, freaking Falcons. Every year. I don't know what they're going to do. Every single year.
And the
Nobody
Falcons
knows.
record... Yeah, no, exactly, Steve.
Exactly.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what the Falcons are going to do.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is Steve is one of only two people to have a winning record with the Falcons.
Good for you, Steve.
Oh, wow.
Good for
Ironically,
you.
Troll's the other one that has the winning record. So Steve and Troll are immune to the Atlanta curse for now.
I will say, I think Troll has an advantage because he's in the division with them. So he,
Yes.
one, is fueled by pure hatred for Atlanta, and two, he's not dumb. So he's going to know like when to go with them.
Also, I will say, even though Cincinnati was one of our worst teams this season, this is not Steve's best team, but Steve went 14-3 with Cincinnati.
Wow. Good job, Steve.
Yeah.
And
I
also,
mean,
I love that the best teams for yourself and for Steve are 14-2 and are 15-2 and 14-3. Those are
That's
amazing
our second
records.
best,
Yeah, for being the second best team, amazing
Yeah.
records.
right? And last but not least, our worst team of the season
Hmm.
was the Green Bay Mother Loving Packers.
Again,
Oh
oh my
my
god.
For the second year in a row. The Green Bay Mother Loving Packers. Quote
Oh,
from Tom Grassi, by the way.
yeah, frickin' Packers freaking did this thing. and nobody knew
Thank
why.
you, Jordan Love.
Unbelievable. Now here's the thing. I understand that from me because a lot of times I just ride spite,
Yeah.
but to have it be the worst team overall, that's crazy.
Also have another fun fact about
Okay.
the Packers. There was
good.
only one person in the entire Pick'ems to have a winning record with Green Bay.
Ooh,
You want to take a guess at who that was?
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve.
So Steve had a winning record with all of our worst teams.
Wow.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
That's wow.
I think that's a milestone.
Honestly, that is, and not only that, but I think Steve used those wins to make a bit of a comeback because for a while
Yes.
he was kind of down the ladder a little bit, and you finished officially in third. That is not bad at all. That's
No.
amazing.
The OGs were 1, 2, and 3.
Reclaimed.
That is how tough we are.
That was amazing.
So, once we reset a minute, we can start with our best teams. Oh, by the way, the Packers were 51 and 68, so one below the Falcons.
So they were so close to being a Bane. So close.
Yeah.
Steve, you okay?
So, I guess moving on to our best teams.
Yeah.
Our third best team was the Miami Dolphins at 84 and 35.
Okay, I mean, I can see that. They're very high powered. I think we believed in them, rightfully so, because honestly, their schedule, they didn't really face a lot of like above 500 teams for most of the year, so it was really easy to kind of get when they would be right.
Yeah. Speaking of a team that did not have to go against too many difficult opponents, at number 2, we have the team with one of the worst, I think it's the second or third easiest strength of victory and strength of schedule. Dallas Cowboys, 85 and 34.
That makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, down the stretch, they were very, very powerful. Especially once we got down the pattern of them being at home and winning, it was kind of easy to slant it that direction.
Yeah. And at number 1, we have the team that everybody performed very well with. 6 of our players had the same record with this team at 13 and 4.
Oh, okay.
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh, that makes sense. I honestly, I was expecting it to be like a good team from this year that we all just like knew was going to go all the way, but no. It's because we know that you sold the farm. Yeah, you're Carolina. You sold the farm for a number 1 pick without a good coach that would actually help him out.
Yeah.
You're bad.
Gave them to the Bears.
Yeah. The Bears got everything, and
And I'm so
mad.
happy about that. I love it. They're set for years to come. Good
Yeah.
news is they're still Chicago, so they're going to find a way to mess it up.
Yeah. There's only 3 other teams that we got above 80 wins on, and that was the Giants, the Cardinals, and the 49ers.
Okay, now that makes more sense. So 1 out of the 4 is kind of what I was expecting us to do well with.
Yeah. San Fran.
Yeah, exactly.
So, now we get to go to our individual accolades.
Okay.
So, Troll. We're going to start with Troll, because I kind of did it in what Joy's order for pick'ems are, except for slipping you and Steve in there.
Sure, that sounds good.
So, Troll's best team was the Philadelphia Eagles, where Troll went 14 and 3.
Wow. All right. That makes sense because I do remember him kind of like knowing when they fell off.
Yeah, he picked it up pretty quickly, which is awesome.
Right.
Troll's worst team, the AFC Bane.
Wow. Imagine that. The Chargers are still being a Bane. Pick'em's wide.
Yeah. Joy, your best team
Hmm.
was Dallas at 15-2.
Understandably so.
Mhm.
Your worst team, what do you think it was?
Oh God.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Go for it.
The Bears.
What are you thinking, Joy?
I think it could be the Bears, but for me, the Bears were kind of mid, and I think. Well, no. Here's the thing. I picked them to win. I think exactly once. So
For the second year in a row.
yeah, for the second year in a row. So it would make sense. It would either be maybe the Titans as well, because I believed in them a lot, and then they let me down, and then I believe in them, and then all of a sudden they lose, and then let me down again.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
So Tennessee was definitely a wild one for you, but you finished at 9-8 with Tennessee.
Okay, that's not bad.
You finished 11-6 with Chicago.
That's surprising. Oh
But
wow.
your worst team was the Atlanta Falcons, because of course
Of course it would. Freaking Falcons.
you went 5-12 with the Falcons.
Oh my God.
Now, here's a fun bird Dino stat.
Oh my
So-
God.
Dino went 4-0 with Atlanta. So Dino had one less win with the Falcons than Joy in the entire season.
Wow. Okay. That's
Dino is just
how exactly did Dino manage to go undefeated with Atlanta, and I only won 5 games all year?
Because I can break the Falcons.
Well, and you know what though? It also fricked the Bears, because I went with Atlanta over Chicago, and that was my regret of the year. So
Yeah.
once again, the Bears did in a way mess me over.
Yeah, they really did. Now,
Unbelievable.
out of curiosity, I'm just gonna check real quick if you actually did the Bears actually make Atlanta your bane, or would 6 of 11 not mattered? 6 and 11 would not have mattered. 6 and 11, they still would have been your worst team,
Okay. Well, I mean that's
and they
fine,
wouldn't have been
but-
joined with anybody.
Right.
So
Okay.
the Falcons were just
The Falcons were just the Falcons for me, and I hate them for it.
Papa is going to be a long boy to read off.
Oh boy. Okay.
Papa's best teams include the Giants, the Panthers, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Colts. You heard me right. 6 different teams
Wow.
were in a tie for Papa's best team at 13-4.
Wow.
That's insane.
He's just like generally knowledgeable. Like there's not one team that he knows the best. It's just a general knowledge of
Yeah.
the sport at this point. Because like,
Yeah.
excuse me, that's like a fifth of the league that you just got. Bam,
13-4.
13-4.
Papa also had the Falcons curse.
Oh no.
Went 6 and 11 with Atlanta.
Oh, we would have had the same record if the freaking Bears didn't mess it up.
Yep. you're gonna see in a minute that you're gonna hate the Bears a little bit more.
Oh no.
So SDS's best team is solely the Panthers. So the team that 6 people got 13-4 was the only team that SDS got 13-4.
I mean, it was Carolina, so I
Yeah.
will say he did get a couple of Carolina games right this year that I was very surprised with.
Yes,
Like where
the,
he picked the upset over them was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think he actually got both upsets correct, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
I think so too.
So I mean, yes, the games he got right were good games to get right,
Mhm.
for sure. His worst team was the Cincinnati Bengals, 4-13.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that was just not believing in Jake Browning at all.
Yes. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Steve,
Uh-oh.
Here
who
we
do you think your
go.
best team was? 'Cause-
I'm going to say, 'cause 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 I'm going I'm stuck between two teams. I'm just gonna say the Packers.
So with the Packers, you went 9-8. Your best team was the Cowboys, where you also went 15-2 with them.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my second choice.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Now, your worst teams, I think, are the most interesting of the bunch. Yes, you have 2 in your worst teams category, but what I will say is your worst teams, you have the best record out of the worst teams.
Okay. I would say probably one of my worst teams, probably the Denver Broncos.
They were close. You were 8-9 with Denver.
Okay.
So you were close.
Mhm.
Your worst teams actually came from the same division,
Oh,
and they were the Texans and the Jags, where you went 7-10 with both of them.
Wow.
oh.
The bane of the South.
Which is funny
Yeah.
because that was also the Jacksonville Jaguars were also a bane in last year for Buff.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Mhm.
so. It is kind of funny that is still the Jacksonville Jaguars still existing in that realm.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, I will go to Buff next.
Yep.
Where Buff's best team was the Panthers at 13-4.
Okay. Again, that makes
His-
sense.
Yeah. Worst team was the Cincinnati Bengals at a whopping 2-15.
Oh my God. Cincinnati just destroyed him.
Yeah, Cincinnati
Wow.
was the team that obliterated Buff.
Wow.
Yeah.
New candidate for spite, potentially?
Possibly, honestly.
I mean, it might be something to think about there, Buff.
My best team, like we discussed earlier, would have been the Rams if I decided to, follow my own rule.
Right.
But I didn't.
Right.
So my best team ended up being Dallas as well.
Oh, wow.
At a whopping 16-1.
What was the one?
Cardinals, because of course it's my division.
Right, of course. Of course it would be the Cardinals messing you over. Wow.
I also got to join you and Papa on the Falcons Bane train.
The Bane train. Yeah, I like that.
Where with the Falcons, I went 6-11, which means that the Bears prevented Joy from being 6-11 with us on the same cabin.
It's fine. I'm a loner anyway.
My second worst team was Tampa at 7-10. I was the only person that had a losing record with the Buccaneers.
Oof.
Or wait, no, I'm one of 3, but
Oh, okay.
I had the worst record with Tampa. That's still the same.
Yeah.
Where I went 7-10.
That is kind of strange because, like, you did say that you like Tampa.
Yeah, they were definitely my worst team other than the Falcons. So same with Steve. My worst teams came from the same division. Woo!
I will say that the South, just in general, for both the AFC and the NFC, were very, very difficult this year. They were just like, they weren't fun. They were both kind of trash, and then all of a sudden Houston shows up.
Yes.
Houston is the savior. CJ Stroud is the savior of the South, and I love it.
More fun stats.
Okay.
So everybody has a different favorite team in this pick'ems.
Okay. Makes
Nobody was the best with their own team.
That is absolutely hilarious. I did kind of catch on to that trend a little bit.
So I can kind of go over who was the best with each team.
Sure. Good.
Me and Papa had the Pride of Detroit.
Okay.
We were 12-5.
All right. You know what? I'm here for it.
But if Joy couldn't have Detroit, she took Minnesota. So
Why? Why am I Skull?
you were 11-6 with Skull.
Wow. Go Skull, go.
And then, of course, I had Dallas at 16-1 because 16-1 is ridiculous.
Yeah, honestly.
Tampa belongs to Papa at 12-5. Steve was a close second, along with you at 11-6.
Wow.
Okay.
And
Nice.
just for the record, SDS did have the other winning record, so SDS does know his team too.
Just not the best.
Steve, you had the Seahawks with Papa.
So
So
he knew the
Steve-
Seahawks better than you did.
Yes, Steve had that. The Saints also belongs to Steve at 13-4.
Nice. Good job.
And then there's one more team, and it's from the NFC or AFC, and I had Denver.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I knew
So-
somebody was going to be good with Denver. I just wasn't entirely sure who it was going to be.
Yeah, I was the only person that had 10 wins with Denver.
Nice. Well done. I love how, like, none of us were really that confident and that good with our own team.
Yes.
That is the
The
most
funny-
hilarious thing to me.
I think that's the wackiest stat on the board. Is
Yeah.
The fact that nobody did the best with their own team. And then lastly, I have, for stats, I have a section where I go over how we did with unanimously, where we all agreed.
hmm
I have how the underdog people did in a 4v3 setting.
Okay.
I have our best group of 2 in the 5v2s. And then I have our best player in alone games. For my final stat.
I'm very interested with the alone games one, considering I'm alone in the final game of the year. I really need
Yes.
some reassurance here.
So, unanimously, when we agreed, we ended up having a 69.7% win rate.
Nice.
I will say our win rate was 72%, but we went 1-5 in the final 6 unanimous games. So,
Because of course.
because we couldn't have over 70% now.
Well, no,
No.
we would have ruined the funny number if we did that. So
That's true. We did. In 4v3s, an interesting thing, the 3s won 42.9% of the time. So it's actually fairly even.
yeah, that's not bad.
The best 5v2 combo
Mhm.
goes to
Mhm.
Steve and myself, where we
Whoa.
went 4-0 when me and you were in a 5v2 pairing.
Nice.
Amazing.
Well done. Well done.
Now, the alone team's banes were Steve and Papa, where they went 0-5 when they agreed with each other. So,
Okay.
so
So
That was-
basically, those two agreeing on things usually spells disaster.
yeah, that's what we learned.
Good to know.
Sorry.
As far as best agreeances, though, it did go to Steve. Steve was 13-10 in terms of best in agreeances. So over half the losses came with agreeing with Papa, but everybody else, it was pretty standard. Because the honorable mention I'm gonna say here, and the reason why I feel like the Saints the Rams and Giants game makes me more mad.
Mhm.
Steve and Troll, when combined together through week 16, before the Giants game happened, we're 6-0 together.
Oh my god.
And
And then the Giants happened. Ugh.
decided to not take the points and made a 6-0 go to 6-1.
Ugh.
They would have been 7-0 together. Now, in the final week of the season, they did agree in a 5v2 with the Chargers. So again, the Chargers being a bane as well. We love them. They're here for it. But it's just crazy that they went. That's honestly my honorable mention is the
Yeah,
fact that they
that
went
is-
6-0
That's amazing.
together to start.
That is awesome.
Troll and Papa and Troll Papa, Joy Papa, and me and Papa were the only other. Oh, and Buff and Papa were the only other undefeateds, but we just didn't have enough games to be over the 4-0 mark.
Right.
Joy and Papa were the closest together. When Joy and Papa agreed together, they were 3-0. So
Yeah, I
agreeing with
can
Papa
see that.
was definitely really good.
Yeah. Generally speaking, yeah.
Now for the alone game
Oh
category,
boy. Okay.
the winner of the alone game category only had one alone game,
Wow.
technically.
Wow.
And that was you. You went 1-0. Your only alone game
Hey.
was the Falcons.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
Okay.
You won it.
Wow. So let me get this straight. My Bane is the only alone game that I had and won, and I have a chance to double that with the team that I actually like.
Yes.
Oh no. That's not good for me, John.
No, it's not. The other thing is that I was 1-0 with you until the final game of the regular season, in which I lost my alone game with Miami.
Oh.
Now, to somebody who actually had alone games, Steve had 11 alone games and was the only other person to have a winning record. So the OG squad were the only people that had even or better.
Wow. That's awesome. I can't
But
believe that
Steve was
Steve
in
had
second place.
11 alone games.
And won 6 of them.
That's awesome.
A lot of them were with Atlanta.
Because of course it was. Freaking
Because
Falcons.
Steve went 10-7 with the Falcons, if we don't remember. So the
Freaking
Falcons treated Steve really well.
yeah, good for you, Steve. How does it feel? How does it feel to be treated well by the Falcons? Because I would never know.
Now, to be fair, one of Joy's best teams was the Chargers this year. So
I don't know how that happened, though. To be fair.
Joy went 14-3 with the Chargers.
Oh, that's another big time regret that I actually had. By the way, is I trusted Easton Stick in his first week, and then they got blown out like 65 something by the Raiders.
Yeah,
So
63-21.
yeah, 63-21. Yeah, that was another big time regret because I looked so stupid.
Also, Steve,
Yeah.
you were the final person to have an undefeated team on the board this year.
Okay.
Now, what I mean by that is you were the last one to have it, and then of course the Giants decided to be the Giants. But
Naturally.
you had a 10-0 record with the Giants at one point.
Oh.
And were the last person to have somebody that was undefeated until the Giants decided to win again.
Wow, that's impressive.
And it was by pretty far too. Like,
Steve is honestly cleaning up in the stat awards category at the end of the season. Like he's dominating the awards.
yeah.
I
Really,
like to
honestly.
Sammy for my award.
Right? No, Steve honestly dominated the awards.
Yeah.
No way to go around it. I mean, best 5v2, best besides Joyce 1-0, the only other one with an actual winning record, like did best with the teams we did worst on. Like,
Yeah.
there's really nothing else to say on that. Had the best worst record. Like,
Yeah, just like I said that Papa Agron's case earlier was like he just was generally knowledgeable and just overall was really good. But Steve is kind of even better than that. If you average it all out, like overall, I think Steve was like the best competitor of the season by averages.
yeah, if you look at those averages, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And of course, we talked about Dino's best team being the Falcons. Dino's worst team was the Eagles. No surprise there.
Yeah, although I'm kind of surprised with that considering he didn't pick the Seahawks at all.
He did one time.
He did once. Okay.
And in that one win, he actually won his. But he went 1-3 with the Eagles and 2-3 with Seattle. So really, same amount of losses. Although with the Cardinals, he went 4-2,
which is
So he beat the
really
Cardinals.
weird. Yeah, that's really puzzling to me.
And then he also, of course, knew the Falcons. So everybody in the pick'ems, we need to have a talk with Dino. Apparently, besides Troll and Steve, because Troll and Steve actually know the Falcons, but apparently Dino knows way more than we do when it comes to the Falcons. So
Yeah,
we need to talk.
I don't know how to feel about that.
It's been Troy and I's fate forever.
Like pretty much since the beginning of us doing predictions, John and I have had two Banes, and they've always been the Chargers and the Falcons. And it was really funny because they were in separate conferences. So like the Falcons of the AFC, or the AFC chokers, and then the NFC chokers. It was just like, so to see the Falcons do so well with other people, it's really weird.
Yeah, it is. Well, and the other thing too is what I love is that, of course, the Green Bay mother-loving Packers are out here just trying to take the Charger spot now.
You know what, though?
I think they've done it.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with the Packers being the ones that take over.
Yeah. Like, because I think we're kind of getting a grip. I'm not going to jinx us, but a little bit more on the Chargers. Although they were still a Bane for somebody, so they're still a Bane team.
They are. They are still a Bane team, but, you know, earlier I said that I was kind of going to hope to try to nudge Rev into playing Pick'ems with us next year. Yep. The Chargers are his team. So if you really want to come in and help sway things and make the Chargers not so bad, there's an easy way for you to do it. Just saying.
Yeah.
But okay, so once the big game is over and we have potentially the scores being correct by somebody, we will have a final clipboard posting on my community tab to kind of pinpoint it and finish it off for who is actually officially the winner of Pick'ems. And also, you know what? I don't even know.
I don't even know either.
All I know is I'm not going to get the score right, and I just hope that I'm the only one that gets the game right, because ending the season on an alone game and being 2-0 would be insane. But,
that would be fun.
Yeah, when I was getting all the picks in, because I was getting them throughout the day, and I was seeing a trend begin, I'm like, oh no. It's John, save me. And then you didn't. And then I was asking for Steve to save me. Like, the only thing that can save me is if Troll actually takes the Niners and his joke pick was just a joke.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm scared. But I'm excited.
Although, I will say, if Troll does pick the Niners and you have a 5v2 with Troll, you're 0-3 together.
Troll, go with the Chiefs. I'm okay being alone with Brock Purdy. It's fine. Jeffrey can join too. It's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I can be alone with those two. Let's rewind and say we didn't. It's fine. So anyway, recap. I'm excited, but I'm very nervous for the big game. I hope you guys have a fantastic Super Bowl weekend. Many parties, safe parties.
Yes, safe parties for
Be
sure.
safe, and stay tuned to the community tab for the final clipboard on Monday after the game. And yeah, it's been a great season, so I'm looking forward to season 5.
Me too.
Hopefully we'll have the same cast of characters with some extras. Dino's Picks has been very fun as well, so we'll try to do more of that next season if I can get him to cooperate.
Yes.
So we shall see. But thanks for joining us on this one again, John. Thanks for joining me all season, Steve.
Not a problem there. Thank all our friends for joining us there. Buff, Troll, SDS, Papa Agron.
Yep, it's
and
been.
Of course, you and John there. Thanks so much for helping me through the season there. Even though my picks were complete disasters.
That's okay. I think we all had disasters.
Yeah, all of us had a disaster or two that we died on the hill for.
Yeah.
Mine was the Chargers over the Raiders. I died on that hill, and to be fair, I would do it again because it was funny.
It was.
But also, thank you, John, for saving the day when my computer died.
Oh yeah, of course.
A couple of times.
That was honestly a fun week.
Yeah, it really was. It was a nice bye week for me. Yeah. I was good. But it was a really crazy season. So just thanks for hanging out for it all, and we'll catch you guys next year for season 5.
Yeah.
Woo! We'll see you
Thank you all. See you next year.